Oh, hey, you want to build a coat rack? So in this video, we're gonna do a coat rack. Not like this, it's gonna be bigger, and it's gonna be part of the build along series that I mentioned previous videos. And let's build a coat rack. Here's the shopping list that it gives you. They do want you to use red oak. Here's the statistics, says how long it'll take, how big it is, and here's your cut list. And then I'm about to show you a diagram. That's all your pieces. Step 1, cross cut your 1x10 board to 32 inches. And then you are going to rip your 10-inch board down to 8 inches wide for the coat rack top. My material is already at 8 inches, so I won't need to rip it down. I'm not using red oak, I'm using hemlock, but you can use whatever you have available to you. To make the end pieces, I'm making this template here. I just took a piece of graph paper. I measured 7 inches for long ways, and then I did 10 inches down. And then for the little notches you see, I just went 1 inch in and 1 inch down for top and bottom. And where that mark was, I just connected with like a little radius. So right here, I'm just gluing it onto a piece of plywood, and I'm gonna cut it out for a template. I'm taking this over to the bandsaw to cut it out. You could use a jigsaw if that's what you have. I'm tracing this out on the actual workpiece, and then I'm just gonna cut it out. Now that I have it cut out, I'm just gonna attach my template with some double-sided tape and then take it over to the router table. You don't need a router table to do this. Even if you just have a regular router and a flush trim bit, you can do it just like that as well. Right here, I'm ripping the back piece down to 5 inches. Now I'm making my mark for 14 1/4 for the back piece. Right here I'm coming up 4 inches, and that's what I will make a mark, and I'll connect my middle mark to that mark to get the profile for the back. Find yourself a straight edge to go from your middle mark to the mark you just made and connect the dots. And we'll cut that out. Now we're cutting that profile. I'm using my bandsaw, but you could use a jigsaw if that's what you have. I'm over at the belt sander just cleaning my edge up after cutting it at the bandsaw. For step 8, they want you to assemble the coat rack using screws, but we're going to use dowels. Here we're laying it out for our dowels. I'm going in 1 1/4 inches from each end, making a line. You'll do that for both pieces. I'm using a dowel jig to do these holes. I did put that clamp on to act as a stop. And for the top piece, which will be your shelf, you're going to go in and make a mark at 2 inches from the top. And right where the end piece will end at, you'll go 2 inches from there. Once you have all your dowel holes drilled out, you can do a dry fit assembly. Make sure everything's good to go. You want to find center of your backboard, which is going to be 2 inches. So you make your mark there, and then every 6 inches, you'll make a mark, and that's where your hooks will go. I'm using an awl to make my marks instead of drilling. Here I am sanding. I'm using a 120 grit sandpaper. All right, now that we made it this far, there's one more thing we have to do. What's that? Add a profile to the edges, make it a little more appealing. All right, so I have the router. We're gonna be using 2 different bits. We're gonna be using this round over bit and then a chamfer bit. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna take the round over bit, and we're just gonna hit this edge right here, and then we're gonna take the chamfer bit and we're gonna hit the bottom, and then on the top we're gonna do the round over edge all the way on the top edge and on the sides, and on the bottom we're gonna do a chamfer. And on these pieces we're just gonna round it all over. Here I am rounding over those edges. Slight chamfer on the bottom, nice round over on top. Alright, so I taped off right here to prevent squeeze out getting onto this, eliminate extra sanding. So let's do the glue up. Make sure you get some glue in the dowel holes and on the dowels. And just get all your surfaces covered. Using a clear shellac, I'm going to do 3 coats, sanding 220 in between each one. After the 3 coats of shellac, I'm going to finish this off with some paste finishing wax, and then we're going to put the hardware on. Here's a picture with the hooks on, and now we're about to attach the hardware on the back that you're going to use to hang it. I went in 8 inches and 5/8 from the one end, attached the hardware, and then I just measured 16 inches from there to make my next mark for the other hanger. That way it will land on studs. Well, that's that. Coat rack we just made. It's hung up. You got 4 hangers. I think it was a pretty fun build. It probably took me around 4 hours, and that's with filming and all that. The book does say it'll take 3 to 4 hours. So I think it's pretty accurate on how long it'll take. I did do a different finish than what it suggested. It just suggested to do like a stain, and I think just poly over it. I ended up doing 3 coats of shellac, and then I did a coat of wax and buffed that in. If you like doing these build-alongs and you would like to do more, just comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.